Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Code drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip.
At the same time, yesterday, the Signalus stream. Whew, we got to talk about it, right? Now, the good news is Signalus is almost done. But the way that the Signalus playthrough has gone kind of really makes me apprehensive. And we're going to talk about that this morning on the podcast. I feel like it's a discussion we have to have. You know, in the 15 years that I've been a content creator, for the most part, I cover major releases. I cover AAA games. I cover games that have an established IP or following. Every once in a while, if there's something new from a studio that's already a tried and true studio that we trust as someone to put out, you know, great games, I'll check that out. But in general, one of the criticisms that I have received over the years is that I don't play many indie games. That indie games kind of go under my radar, and it's only if someone like really pounds me. However, in general, I don't play indie games, right? I just don't. And in the case of Signalus, this is a game that I'm playing right now that is a throwback survival horror game. The graphics are outdated on purpose. The controls are retro on purpose. The game mechanics, there's a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of inventory management. There's a lot of cryptic puzzles. The gameplay where, you know, you can't really kill any of the enemies permanently, or if you do, it's very limited. It's all done to play like an old school homage to those classic survival horror games like Resident Evil 1 and 2 or the original Silent Hill games. That's what it's going for, okay? I think it does do a good job of that, and I've strongly enjoyed the game until last night when, well, I guess yesterday afternoon, when the game took away my map. And that actually pissed me off, because taking away my map is just adding frustration to the game. It doesn't make it any harder. It just makes it more frustrating for the gamer. Especially someone like me. I'm a content creator trying to beat the game in a certain length of time because I have other games I need to get to, and all they're doing is extending the length of the playthrough by making it annoying, not challenging. Okay? But that being said, in regards to Signalus, it started off strong. Like, you guys wanted me to play, and we're going to talk about this. It's going to be a segment. But, you know, you guys really wanted me to play it. I started, and within 2 streams, people just lost interest completely. People stopped showing up, stopped engaging. Like they're not even talking to me when I'm playing the game anymore, and definitely stopped supporting. Yesterday's Signalus stream, outside of the fact that there was a member bomb on the Level 1 podcast, which I now consider almost a separate show from the gameplay portion of my first stream, and besides the fact that I got my daily contribution from 1 Minute Man, who's here pretty much every day to contribute, I made $2 on the Signalus stream yesterday. You understand? $2. 2 people said, here, I'll toss you $1, and it wasn't even related to the game. It was just, hey, I'm just here. Here's $1. You see? The funny part is, I didn't even know what Signalus was. You guys told me about it, and you guys voted for it. So, if anything, now what you're seeing is a situation where you understand why usually I don't play indie games, all right? I'm not saying that indie games aren't great. They are. And in fact, there's certain cases where indie games have the ability to break through the barrier and actually get mainstream attention and actually become popular and get noticed for being great. There's been many indie games that I played over the years that I've really enjoyed. For Midnight Fight Express, notably last year, a game that almost no one knew about. When I played it, I freaking loved the game. It was one of my favorite games of the goddamn year, right? But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to miss an indie game. Why? I don't hear about it. I don't know about it. And I'm usually busy with other mainstream games, correct? That's my niche. My niche is covering the big ones, going back and playing games that I missed, or kind of covering the in-between, sometimes doing retro playthroughs and throwbacks, right? That's what happens. And basically, the situation I'm in here is I'm now committed to playing Signalus because I've now played it, you know, for over 8 hours. I think I'm 8 hours in now, correct? Yeah, I'm 8 hours into the game. Well, the videos on YouTube aren't getting any views. And just to give you some perspective, yesterday Signalus was my main gameplay stream. Those videos have been live since roughly 4 or 5 p.m. yesterday. One of them has 175 views. One of them has 200 views. One of them does have 300 views, but the reason it has 300 views is because it was the last video, and always the last video I upload in a segment gets a boost of views. No one's watching this playthrough. No one's showing up for the streams of the playthrough, and no one's supporting the playthrough. People don't care about Signalus. All right? Sad. Why? I like the game. I overall do like the game. I understand what they're going for. I think it resonates and hits the right notes if you're a fan of the old school retro, survival horror formula. It's not a bad game. It's just that basically, I don't think anyone who watches my content were looking for this. They much rather would have preferred if I had played something that they were familiar with. For example, Resident Evil 0, which is the game that I pitted it against in a poll and would have preferred to play. All right, just being honest, I know Resident Evil 0. I've played it before. I know you guys probably would have liked it. I mean, we just did Resident Evil 1 Remake and you guys loved it. That playthrough did stupendous. It got good views. It got good support. Everyone loved it. So I almost feel like I should have just went with my gut and just played Resident Evil 0. But I let people be vocal. I let people nominate and I let people vote. And we ended up playing Signalus. All right? I can't make people like indie games. I can't. There's no way that I can convince people that a game with a low budget, inferior visuals to these big AAA titles, no real hyper word of mouth, I can't make you like it. All I can do is play it and cover it in the same way that I play any other game. I'm not playing Signalus in any different way than I covered Resident Evil 1 Remake. At all. But we got less people showing up, less people engaging, no one supporting. I can't change that. That's not on me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like among my viewer base, my viewer base likes a certain thing and dislikes a certain thing. I tried to listen to feedback. I tried to play what you guys wanted. I knew we only had about a week to have a game before the Dead Space remake came out. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a situation here where I don't think that there was a right or wrong way to do it. Because if I had played Resident Evil 0, you would have had people complaining, why did I play 2 Resident Evil games back to back? And why didn't I listen to the fans? Right? This is the double-edged sword of being a content creator. All right? Is that sometimes you will play games and they'll resonate and sometimes you won't. Sometimes it's shocking. Sometimes you'll play a game that you didn't think was going to resonate and it does. This is a case where for some darned reason that I can't really explain, Signalus has not resonated with you as an audience. All right? And it's funny because I read various different opinions on it. And some people are like, well, the thing is, because the game looks so outdated or whatever, it's hard to really get into it. I don't understand that. We just played Resident Evil 1 Remake. That game certainly isn't, by modern standards, great. At the same time, I understand it's a remake. They did make better graphics or whatever for it. This isn't the original PS1 version. Maybe if I played the PS1 version of Resident Evil 1, people wouldn't have cared as much. I don't know if that's what it is or not. Maybe, you know. It could just be no one knows what the game is, and because of that, they don't want to give it the time of day. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't really explain it, but what's funny is it seems like the consensus of people who've been leaving comments is this game just isn't fun to watch. Okay, I guess. You know, again, it's weird to me because it's very similar to Resident Evil, right? With its gameplay style, having to avoid enemies because you have limited ammo and they come back anyway. It has this building sense of tension in the plot, and you keep uncovering new logs that explain different things about what are these robots, what happened to the robots, etc., right? Like, I could keep going on and on about how it's very, very similar to Resident Evil, and now, actually, we're in a part of the game that's very, very Silent Hill-esque, and you guys seem to love Silent Hill. Any Silent Hill game I played over the years usually did really well with viewers and with everything. So, is it just that it's trying too hard to be like the classics? I don't know. Again, personally, I don't dislike it at all. I've liked it. The only real major complaint I've had about it is when they took away my map and I couldn't keep my bearings anymore. And because of that, I'm running in circles. I don't know where to go. It's wasting time. It's padding the length of the playthrough for sure. It's very annoying in that regard. But I think we're almost at the end of that point of the game, and maybe we'll move on to a better point soon, I hope. I don't know. However, I did get a comment overnight that I have to laugh at. I love comments like this because they are so hilarious. I actually got a comment on my daily wrap last night. Because remember, on the daily wrap, I had just come off of the end of the day, and I explained to everyone for the first time that Signalus isn't doing well. And of course, all the haters, which I knew they would, piled on the video. They downvoted it, and they fucking clipped it and said, oh, look, Phil's being negative about it. Fucking idiots. You know, because me being honest is me being negative. I have to sugarcoat everything and always be 100% positive, or else somehow I'm being toxic and negative, even though it means honesty. Like in real life, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have great waves of positivity, and you're going to have some days that aren't so good. Yesterday was kind of a mix for me because we hit the members goal, which is amazing, outstanding positivity, but then I found out the Signalus playthrough is basically failing and no one really likes it. That's a disappointment. So I want to, you know, talk about that. I'm not going to say, oh, let's just talk about the positive, ignore this big red flag thing, this elephant in the room over here. No, I'm going to talk about both. But to them, the moment that you're negative about anything, oh my God, how dare you, right? Anyway.
I got the drip, go. 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 I got the drip, go.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.